Maka planted a rose bush on the grave of her brother. She brought it from their hometown, Tsin Valley. Maka was only 12 years old when her brother Nukhzari died in Abkhazia. He was injured in the assault on Sukhumi and taken prisoner, where he was brutally tortured. His veins were cut and his face disfigured. Nukhzari was 23 years old.
Coming to terms with this was the hardest part.
Maki's mother was killed during the bombing in Tsikvali 10 years ago.
She was always calming me down, saying I should not come because everything was fine. In the evening of August 8th, she stopped answering phone calls. Getting to the city was impossible since it had been bombed. I had to walk there. I didn't find my mother in the hospital, so I returned to Tbilisi to look for her among the people who were evacuated. The woman who was in the car with her said that my mother was dead.
242 civilians and 162 service personnel were killed over the 5 days of the Russian invasion in Tsikvali region.
Many people wonder why Georgians fight on the Ukrainian side. We have one common enemy, and we are in the same situation as you are.
Dodo Gugashashvili fought in 4 wars against Russia. He retired as a colonel of the Georgian army. Now he is a combat instructor for Ukrainian war volunteers. He recalls that during the war in Abkhazia, it was clear that Russia would not stop.
Ukrainians helped us a lot in Abkhazia. They were saying that if we didn't stop the Russian military on the Gumista River, then we would have to stop their advance on the Dnipro River in Ukraine. And now, when Ukrainians are at war, I know that they are defending my Georgia as well. I know for certain that we will all meet someday in Sukhumi, Crimea, Gagra, Tsin Valley, Donbass, liberated from Russia.
We're going to visit the grave of a Ukrainian soldier who fell in battle fighting for the territorial integrity of Georgia.
The graves of the soldiers are looked after by their brothers in arms. The founder of the veteran organization, Malakia Chanukvadze, shows us one of the biggest military cemeteries in Tbilisi. 83 service people who died in Abkhazia while defending Georgia are buried there. Ukrainian soldier Mykola Albertinsky is among them.
He came to Georgia, he came to the Guard Department and said that he was a tanker and he wanted to help the Georgians fight against the Russian invaders. On July 1st, Russian and North Caucasian mercenaries began the attack. In one of the battles, Mykola drew the fire on himself and ordered others to withdraw. Those who were there later talked about seeing how the clothes were ripped from his body by the bullets. We have an Easter tradition to put our red dyed eggs on the graves. Mykola's grave is completely covered in red.
Malakia says that in Georgia there are more than 50,000 veterans. To help them and their families, he founded a solidarity fund. It provides medicine and sends children to summer camps. They plan to raise money to build a war veteran house for those who are in difficult situations. Veterans pay a lot of attention to the relatives of the deceased, especially the parents who lost children in the war.
Their parents still think about others. If you need help, they will rush to help as if it is their children still living. They call all of us their sons, and we treat them like they're our parents.